What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt and I own a laser engraving business. Have started that in 2015 and recently have gotten into embroidering. And today I'm using the Smartstich and we're going to be embroidering some hats. I got a couple of jobs. Now that I'm doing this video, I've already had some experience with hats, mostly hats. And I've since then have gotten into the sweatshirts and jackets at the time of this video. So, I'm going to show you how to do the hats, some tricks and stuff I've learned. Maybe they'll help you. So today, we are going to use the Richardson 112 trucker hat. And I'm going to show you what I do. So normally you use, it's called a tearaway on hats. And I have a roll of it here. This is actually cutaway, but I have another roll farther over there. So on the Richardson hats, what I have found out, you do not need tearaway stabilizer on these because they're so stiff that you'll be just fine. You don't need any kind of stabilizer whatsoever. So when I was using stabilizer, that's when I broke a needle, and I have since found by reading in forums and stuff, a lot of people don't use stabilizers for the Richardson hats. So I do not use any kind of stabilizer for these hats. For this, you want to have it clamped down on something sturdy. I have it clamped down on the side of my bench here. What you're going to do is you're going to take the flap out like so. We're going to hold it and put your fingers in there like this. Now we're going to go underneath and we're going to go until we get to this part right here. Then what you're going to do is there's a mark up here, and you're going to want to take the hat and come this way just a little bit, because when you come around with this, it's going to want to pull the hat this way. So it'll compensate for how much it's going to grab and pull it over. So I always look down the center of this in the hat, and then I turn it a little bit, and I go and tighten it. So it's in the center. If it's not tight enough and your hat moves, then what you're going to want to do is loosen up this screw down here, and we'd make an adjustment to make that tighter. So you'd have to go down with it so this pulls. The other thing you'll notice is I have my hat just sitting here like this. This is what I do. I don't clamp it. A lot of people will clamp it like this. I haven't found a need with these Richardson hats. Now, if I was doing the side of the mesh, then I would have to clamp this down because you don't want it to move. Or if you're doing like an old style dad hat, the soft top, then you'd want to clamp these down because you don't want that to move back and forth. So for these, they're stiff. Haven't had any kind of issue. I don't use the clamps. So now, let's get the machine ready for hats. Now to switch this out, all we have to do is loosen up these two arms. And you don't have to take the bolts out. You just have to loosen them up. Do that to both of them. Take these, set them off to the side. Now, let's put the hat stabilizer on. We're going to go in here and change to the hat one. And it flips the image right away, and it puts in how far it can go on each side of the hat. But we're not going to use that image, so we need to go and get a new image. And there's the image we're using. Hit the check mark. Good to go. You got the image there, the size and everything looks good. And then we want to make sure it's going to look good, so we go into here. And then what we do now is put the hat on. So now we take it off of here. There's a button here on both sides, and there's one on the bottom. You press that, and it comes right off. So now you'll see there's a little divot here, notch, and there's a notch out right here. This is where the hat slides in, and you hear it click. It's the same thing for on there. Now we're going to take the hat, go on sideways. so we miss all of the needles. And we're going to turn it, and we're going to line it up with that groove. And what you're going to do is put your fingers behind on each side and hold it. And we're going to push, and so you can hear it click. So now you know you're good. And then what we're going to do is go to needle 1. Now we're going to go and put the on the hat, and he wants it on the left side. So we're going to move it over. What I do is now we're going off of needle 1, so I'm going to try to put needle 1 in between the hat in the middle, in between this seam or thread and this thread. And then we're going to go move frame along the border. Okay, we're going to move it down to the hat for sure. Let's see how that is. Now that is perfect right where I want it, so now we're going to go back. We're going to hit this down here, this button, and this will turn everything on. Change it to embroidered mode. The colors are picked. We're ready to go. All we have to do is hit start. When you see the bobbin at the top, you want to make a little bit of adjustment. So, take the bobbin out, and it's always hard when you have the hats in there, but you got it. There is a tiny, tiny little screw. There's 2 of them. Let's see, get my beautiful face out of there. So you got the bigger one of the 2. This one is the one we're going to adjust. So, I'm going to make like 1/8 of a turn. And then what I do is this is the trick I've found so far, is what I like, is you're going to take it and see if you can hold it up. See how I'm holding it now? The thread wants to come out, so you got to let it rest on your fingers. But if you shake it, it'll only a little bit will start to come out. You'll know what I mean if you hold it and you're holding it up and it stays there, it doesn't move. And if you give it a little wiggle, then it wants to come down a little bit. That's about the sweet spot. And when I took this out, when I pulled it a little bit, it yanked up. So it was a little loose. Yep, good to go. Now to take it off is the same thing. You gotta press these buttons, turn the hat, and then come off. Once I have the hat off, I like to put this back on, and then I'd grab my other one that's ready, put it on, and hit start. So you can just do multiple. Let that come off, this comes right off, now you're ready to load the next one. So other than the bobbin tension, I have to adjust that again. It did a little bit more up here. Everything did good. I think it turned out nice. Hats are simple, and after I got that done, what I do then is I take a lighter, and on the inside you can see like a rat nest, and I just burn it all off. Just hit it with the lighter quick and it's gone. Then I take this piece and I put her back in the hat, and I send it off to the customer. That's it. Fold it back up, bag it up, good to go. So obviously I wouldn't send this one out because the bobbin came up top, but this one was my demonstration for you. But yeah, it's pretty easy. I wouldn't, don't like think it's hard. It's not overcomplicated. Lining up the center, you can use this piece also. I don't like to use it. I tend to forget it's on there and I pull the hat off and then I don't use it. So there's really nothing else to it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this back on. It's a towel that I use for testing, and I'm gonna do a tension test on that and the bobbin to make sure I can get it all right, because even looking at here, it's not how you want it. So do you see you see a lot of white? It's supposed to be less than that. So I have to do some adjusting, I think, on the top also. So no big deal. It's quick fix. So we'll get that done and good as new. Woo! So this is one of the first jobs I did, was running these hats for this customer. He wanted leather patches and embroidering done, and I did them both and it turned out great. It was, you could say, my first job for the embroidering, which was awesome. And then I had 5 more lined up right after him. Some of them I can show you guys, and some of them I will, and some of them I can't. So, but I wanted to make my own just to show you guys how nice and easy it is, and it worked out good. So I'm very happy with it. This has been running every single day I let it, put it that way. So it's been really nice. I have a Apple Watch that I set a timer on, so every time I load it in, I know exactly when the next one is going to be ready. I'll load this one, and then I'll go in the house or work over here on the lasers, and then turn around, alarm goes off, come out and switch it. It's simple, it's easy. Once you put in the stuff and you have a digitizer and everything goes good. So the problem is finding a good digitizer, because that is the trouble I am running into. So, and when I find one, like I said, I'll let you guys know. Until then, you're gonna have to wait, or maybe someone will email me and be like, hey, I know a guy, because that'd be cool. But right now I'm just struggling. The guy that I use, they struggle big time using, like, doing these smaller words, and it's just not turning out the way it should, in the way I've seen other hats. So I'm just, yeah, you gotta find a good digitizer. That's the main thing. So once I do, I'll be good. But I'm getting to the point where I might just buy the software, one of these other softwares, and do everything myself. Maybe it'll be easier. I don't know. Hope you guys liked the video. Glad you guys seen me again. Bye.